This video, I'm going to be playing a game of Madden 25, and we're going to be running the Eagles offensive playbook on offense, and we're going to be in the Jets defensive playbook on defense, primarily focusing on normal wild close on the offensive side of the ball and dollar on the defensive side of the ball. If you guys want to get those full offensive and defensive ebooks and learn how I run those offenses and defenses, everything is available by being a member of our school community, and I'll put a link to that in the description down below. For just $10, you'll be able to get access to all of my offensive and defensive ebooks for Madden and for college football 25. And as it sits right now, I believe we have over 20 different offensive and defensive schemes available to you. So if you want to take your game to the next level, check out our school community. So my opponent is going to start the game, and it appears like he is going to want to run the ball. One of the things that I'm a big believer in is you never want to mess around with somebody that wants to run the ball like this. I'm going to immediately, awesome. I'm going to immediately check into 6-1 and just try to stop this run. That's the main thing. Whenever I see somebody come out in two tight ends like that, that's like literally the most immediate thing that I'm thinking about. So I don't know what's going on with my lineup here. Let's get Pierce in the game. Ski. Yeah, we're screwed. All right, we're just out here. All right, we're gonna go 6-1. And one of the best tips with 6-1 is to shift your defensive line to the side of the running strength. There we go. And there it is. Okay. So now, and I guess we're playing ass Madden. Looks like he's just gonna come out and ball. He's just ready to play some ball today. Yeah, totally messed up my defense. Okay. And some crazy pressure from Peppers. What more can you ask from? And now we get him in like a third and long. So I'm definitely somebody that's really starting to be a big believer in just situational football. So I'm gonna play really bad situational football here. Just play Jimmy Graham. Just play the ball. Just catch it. Just something. All right, let's go ahead and get our defense baseline. We are playing really bad and somehow got to stop. But one of the things I wanted to talk about offensively is space and numbers, basically. So essentially, this idea that I'm actually going to run back here and get some more reps. But basically, it's just this idea of being able to attack the entire field horizontally and vertically. So, for example, in the switch stick era, one of the big vulnerabilities in the way the game plays is just the fact that you can easily switch stick on and defend a lot of areas of the field within the switch stick, because you're putting route combos on, and then the zones can adjust in real time to the routes that you're putting on the field. So one of the big ways in which I'm starting to learn how to counter that is the idea of having, essentially like routes and plays that attack the entirety of the field. So like this right side guy attacks not just a flat, but he attacks, a lot more of it as well. And I don't know what this guy's doing defensively, but he's going to give me a big play. See a cover 3 match guy, cover 4 quarters guy, probably. Got a little bit of a cover 6 going. Perfect. Another thing that kind of this encompasses a little bit is this idea of the screen game. I don't know how good this screen is, but I saw somebody run this on me, so I'm just going to try it. And are able to hit it. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely in the playbook now. That's not a bad play. But it's just this idea of attacking space that I'm starting to really enjoy about Madden. How kind of trying to find different ways to put defenders in conflict and attack kind of the space on the field. Let's see here. And good defense. I should have thrown it away. Wait, he's playing defense. This tight end should be open. Tight end is open. Tight end can't catch. Oh, the hook curl carried that a little bit. I'm going to go for this. Why not? It's gonna be one of them games. Twitch already art 6'9". What a W name. All right, we're gonna go. She's showing some pressure here, so I'm gonna block this running back. Really looking for this post. Not gonna be able to fit it in. Good defense. Did I have a corner? One of the best exercises I think you can do is look back at your film and see the routes that you miss. Normally, if you run a really high level play, you're going to be missing a lot of reads because normally with a high level play, the thing about high level Madden plays is they beat every defense. You just have to find the open receiver. And you would, you always want to call a defense that has, or call a play that has answers. Like that's like tip number one, call good plays. And how do you find good plays, right? Well, you find good plays, honestly, in ebooks, or you look at what the best players are running, try to figure out why they're running it and how you can add it into your game. So here, playing kind of a simple shell. I think I am gonna actually try to do the engage defense. Not gonna work. And I just hate 6-1. I don't like playing 6-1, and I don't like running 6-1. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna scissor this left side. We're gonna match this right side here. It's gonna be kind of an interesting defense. Hope he comes out in the same play. All right, let's go. Okay. So 3rd and 4. All right, so we go tight Y off here. What I like to do against tight Y off, especially in situations like this, just some quick pressure. Try to just hit him quick. And we're going to get the safety. Very good. Situations like that, when you're tight Y off just can't kill cover 2 quickly. And so when you can send 6 situationally, I am starting to really seriously start thinking a lot though more about situational football. Bill Belichick talks a lot about that, and the idea that like situations kind of determine certain things about how somebody plays the game defensively, offensively. So kind of more of a pre-snap play calling piece than a post-snap read piece. I think I'm definitely the best at the game though when I can play as much of the game before the ball snapped. I definitely think that's like my preference for playing ball. So like for example, I like to really study my reads pre-snap, kind of look at like who's open. There it is. I'm gonna go for 2 here. One of the things that I do think is if you look at the defensive meta that we're gonna see that we saw this year, that I really believe you're gonna see this kind of going forward. This is just gonna be the defensive meta. You're gonna see cover 4 be kind of, I think it's gonna be the main defense. Either cover 4 or cover 3 be the main defense. 2 deep coverage, cover 2 with 5 underneath, probably not going to be the main way. But a lot of like, if you're going to get drop 8, most years going forward, like I can't ever really see a Madden where you're going to send more than like 5 people consistently in a defense. And so you're going to have to be able, one of the big elements I think is you're going to have to be able to beat kind of the cover 4 drop or even the cover 3 like cloud type coverage where you have 2 yellow zones, 2 flat defenders, and then 3 or 4 deep in coverage. I think that is a very, very popular way that people want to play the game. And so from a passing perspective, I think a lot of it comes down to how do I hit you in those pockets, essentially triangular reads over the middle of the field. But how do I hit you in those pockets is going to be a lot of what passing becomes ultimately. And he did not hit me in one of those pockets. So we should be able. He'll probably quit once we win this game. Yeah, he's probably out of here. No? He wants more. He wants to battle. And he's out of here. All right. Well, hey, before we get into game number two, I figured I would show you my team. I haven't really showed my team off. I'm not even really using all the AP. I don't really know what to do with it with all the discounted stuff. But what I want to show you is just kind of who I've got rocking here. So we'll just take a look at the lineup real quick before we get into another game. So I've got Adrian Peterson at quarterback. That's going to be Don Terry Poe once AP's boost goes away. I think it's just kind of fun playing with him. Got him at running back too, because if you have the running back and the quarterback, they boost each other. I have all of these out of position all-star players, so they all get to 99 speed. I have John Ross on the team because he boosts wide receiver speed. The one weakness is I don't have a great receiver number two here, but I really like these two guys. I'm a big believer in the tank ability. I think you want to have tank on as many people as you can because that limits the fumbling. And then I love this. What's the Ring of Honor promo? Has really, really good ability stacks. So we're just leaving them in. And then I got Jimmy Graham at tight end. On the defensive side of the ball, the biggest thing here is mid zone KO, flat zone KO, pick artist, deep zone KO. Those are like key abilities. I got a couple avalanches for special teams. Urlacher, John Lynch are pretty much for special teams with their avalanche abilities. But as you see here, I got a couple AP left over on both sides of the ball. Offensively, that's mainly just because Adrian Peterson has all but basically every ability for zero AP. So, anywho, and then kicker wise, I want to get the Cowboys kicker, but to get this out of position boost, you kind of need this guy Thorpe. So, anywho, that's pretty much the squad and the playbooks. All right, boys, game number two, playing against the amazing 49ers BTAU, whatever that means. And we're just going to be trying to play some good ball. I really am starting to become like a huge fan of kind of this idea of like process. You hear this all the time, like trust the process, or it's the journey, not the destination, right? You've heard this kind of phrase, but it's all the idea of just like I really like the way LeBron James puts it, like mastering your craft. I'm devoting myself to my craft. I'm trying to master my craft. That is a lot of what this game really is at the higher levels. Once you start to kind of get some good plays and you start to kind of understand a little bit about the game, a lot of it comes down to how do I master my craft? How do I master my post snap reads? And how do I master really on offense and defense? How do I master post snap reads on offense and defense is really, kind of the key piece of the puzzle. See if we can catch that. Byron Jones able to go up, make a play. He really does look like a beast too with his little pink helmet. Looks like just a beast. But a lot of the game really comes down to pre-snap. That's where most, like I said, I think you can. I I really like the idea of being able to win the game pre-snap as much as possible. Ultimately, when you play somebody that is pretty high level, they're gonna make everything look the same pre-snap and post-snap. So that's a huge deal. That's crazy to me that actually almost got that corner right. I bet if he clicked on, he probably picks that. I really like this play a lot. I think this play is really good against cover four and cover three. And I think cover four and cover three are really going to be the mainstay coverages. Cover two is good. The biggest thing that cover two does is it kind of creates a triangle, makes it harder to throw corner routes. Cover two, if you think about it, it makes it harder to throw the ball outside deep, but you can kind of throw it inside. So, yeah. Here, going to go with a little Y cross combo. I started running. Not going to be able to do it. And I don't love AP's release. But one of the biggest things with this is going to be how do you hit these little pockets that the yellow zones won't guard. So you see here like something like this. See how I high load that user? He goes to the post. I'm able to just pop it down to the other underneath player. And that's where you saw, like, I mean, even saw this year, like a combo like this, I think is really good. This little zig route with a fade, or even like, if you want to do it like this, that's cool too. And then you can have something like that. But this ability, and you're really seeing it from the high level passers in Madden, as I totally missed the read. Just kind of be patient here and just see what we can get. I don't think I'm going to get anything. I'm going to get out of the pocket. I swerve the spy. AP is a beast. But one of the things you saw, like from Fancy, you saw this from Wesley, you see this from a lot of the best passers in the world. Just this capability to hit kind of these key pockets. Let's see if we can hit kind of like right where that drag is or where the flat is. You know, kind of putting that curl to flat player in a lot of conflict is super indicative of a high level passer. Just the ability to hit the underneath areas of the field, I really believe in. So we'll go with a little. Speaking of that, we'll go with a little combo like this. Trying to hit these two hitches here. Very nice. And you just don't see people pass like that. And here's why this kind of passing is so valuable, because this kind of passing it forces your opponent into defenses that are more man-to-man based, which limits how good you if you're playing a switch stick defense, you want to be in zone because it gives you the most amount of capability. You don't really want to run a man-based defense if you're switch sticking a lot, and so what that basically means is, how do you counter that new meta? How do you counter the meta of switch stick? You do so with like curls. You do so with these like horizontal strains on underneath defenders, because most of the time, if you think about what a switch stick defends, if someone has a really good switch stick, you're not going to see people be able to throw a lot of corner routes, post routes, crossing routes of that nature, but you're going to see a lot more of the underneath game. So, and really, if you look at the mainstay concepts this year, it was flat zig combo was really a big piece of how the game was played, or a drag post, right? You switch stick to post, and then the drag would come open underneath. Those were some high level plays for how the game played this year. A little run here. But yeah, defensively, it really is just a lot of like switch stick. How do you so just throw that up to me? This should be a pick. Very nice, Pat Pete. And now we're gonna be able just to work on our process. I actually do think the game. I don't know if this is fair to say, but I feel like the game is a lot more simpler on the defensive side of the ball. And then on the offensive side of the ball, it kind of, I don't know if it necessarily became simpler or it became more complex, because the coverage is the same, but you're playing, you're playing people that have the capability to do all this stuff. So here I'm kind of anticipating like a little cover three or cover zero even. You see how they flipped there? That tells me it could potentially be cover zero. So I get his user out of the gap. I get man coverage. Now we know that speed outs, they just shred man coverage. But again, a lot of passing, especially now, is just giving yourself, if this then that, answers within the play. If they switched it to this, then this concept's going to be open on the backside. Just going to quick hike him here. And I almost threw an interception. That was really stupid. It was a really, really, really bad read. The amazing 49ers out here just balling. But again, the biggest thing about offense that I'm really starting to look at it, is it really does come down to like putting a defender in conflict consistently. So is so dang important. Like, you have to do that. So like right here, I know that he's gonna have to go guard the running back. Now I know I'm gonna get blitzed here, but I'm mainly looking for this tight end or this fade. He goes there. I should have been able to hit that, but I wasn't. And honestly, good defense. One of the best play call, now that I look at it. One of the easiest ways to beat a defense like a double mug that's going to blitz is, again, we just go back to this motion out the back. And this is going to trigger man to man. So here, sometimes they'll shade like down and outside. So I'll just leave this running back on a streak, kind of peek it, and then Gonna be patient on that drag and just hit that shallow all the way across. I love receivers. I love like just simple drag routes from the outside receiver. I think those routes are so good. Like for example, you do like a play like this. Like I think this play is really really good against the defense that he's running. I got a one-on-one with McDaniel. You see he gets off the jam. This should be a lob touchdown. And it is. Yeah, just simple. Make the game super simple, man. It's all about high lows, high lowing defenders. Really, really, really key. And really, I think Madden in the switch stick era, if you really think about it, it comes down to the short passing game. If they have a good switch stick, if they don't have a good switch stick, obviously you can just take advantage of that. But at the highest levels, it really is a check down, short passing game, which is really what you're seeing in the NFL too. By the way, it's very similar. Most NFL defenses are shifting to kind of that cover four, cover three base shell, and there's matching principles within the hook curl defenders that carry vertical routes. That's kind of what you're seeing here. Let's see here, and come down and drive on that. Got to drive on that a little bit better, but really, I mean, if you think about like what a true match, true defense is right now is this idea of like cover four. I mean, it's a cover four based defense. Can I get there? I can. It's actually crazy how long that ball stayed in the air. Let's see if we can take this back. That's probably it for him. See if he's had enough or he's going to give us another drive. Amazing 49ers. Yeah, we're going to talk more about this. This is something I'm trying to get better at myself, is putting more strategy behind switch stick that leads to a better skilled experience. So thanks for watching the video. And if you want to check out any of my full offensive or defensive ebooks, they're available in our school community. And that link is going to be in the description down below.